thing. Their little tax thing is rather sick because government, directly or indirectly, has, as a whole, has profited from my life, and they sit there and rub it in by talking about, I don't know, for some reason they look at tax cuts having to do with cutting me up because I've made people money. I didn't bring the problems on in my life. I'm not responsible for them. And because they're too weird about admitting the financial gains from my life, because they're trying to just, divert attention from themselves, they hurt me with the money rather than help me. And everybody knows that it's a money-making thing. Everybody knows there's lots of money involved. There's no secrets about that. It's everywhere. The money's everywhere. And as to why, why tax cuts have anything to do with me, other than they're, they're trying to get government to say, oh, well, we don't want her to sue us. Well, what can I really do when I'm frickin' cornered here by frickin' criminals, white-collar criminals? What can I really do? I mean, seriously, I'm only one person, and you're trying to entrap me and corner me to death like I'm some sort of, rat in a Chinese prison. And I'm not very happy with my country right now. I'm very disturbed with the United States of America, and I think a lot of people in the public are disturbed when they see what's happened to me. And they know the truth, and they can read about them, and they're all around. And the facts about my life are everywhere. And it's kind of a way to manipulate government by sitting there referring to me maybe as a tax cut, like you cut me up because of liabilities, and they say, well, if we let her out, she's going to sue us. Well, I'm only one person, and, as I said, you don't have to frickin' torture me and corner me to frickin', what do you call that? Put me in a hog tie. Oh, there we go. Living high off the hog. My toes. My foot. Hog tie. You frickin' tie people's hands up. And manipulate government with certain things beyond the money that has, directly gone into the economy, as a result, directly and indirectly from my life. Whether, they sit there, and the presidents, I guess, are manipulating, or somebody's manipulating the government into saying, well, if we let her out and let her free, even though she's supposed to be free, then she's going to get a hold of lawyers and sue us. Well, everybody knows what you're doing. You're trying to corner me. I don't know what you're doing. You look sick. Money is, it's better to be alive than to have money, okay? Do you understand, Barack Obama? Do you understand that? Do you understand that it's better to live my life than to have money? No, you don't, obviously. Or maybe George W. Bush doesn't understand that. Or don't understand that they think they own me, like I'm their personal icon. Like I'm here just for the entertainment industry and them. Or I'm here, I was born to serve their needs and not my own. Banks, first come, first serve basis. Banks, piggy banks, my toes. How much, you know, piggy banks, okay? Um, money. Does money grow on trees? Really? What do you have in trees? You have rings. Rings show your age. Show the age. I'm not my age. I'm not a tree. Just because the Arbor Day Foundation is about 40, 50 miles, 40 miles, 50 miles from here in Nebraska City. I'm not wood. You know, I think I can, you know, the little engine that could, if it would, or woodchuck, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, or whatever. I think I can. A little steam engine, you know, Stanley Steamer, Stanley Hotel, frickin' Psycho movies about shower scenes, and shower being a street in Cheney, Nebraska, and which is in the shape of a triangle on the map, 68526. Lincoln Street is in Cheney, Nebraska. First, Second, Third, and Fourth Street is in Cheney, Nebraska. It's a very small town, and there's just Lincoln, all the bridges in Lincoln are evidence, and they have lots of new ones. And what do you find? You know, the Jack Kennedy thing, the two presidents that were assassinated. What do you find around bridges typically? Bridge over troubled water, Paul Simon? I don't know. What do you find under bridges? Well, bridge is a, you know, card game. And just another reference to cards. People not playing with a full deck, because these people are not playing with a full deck. What do you find around on and around bridges? You find grain elevators. You find train tracks underneath, or you find bodies of water. I can't really say that any of them have anything to do with me, okay? I'm not the R and R X's on railroad tracks. I'm not just tic-tac-toe. I'm not your tic-tac-toe game. I'm not a check mark, you know, red and black, being in the black or being in the red, you know. You say I haven't made you money. Yeah, people believe that too. Right. And because if you weren't, you know, if you were to do your job actually, you know, you're supposed to protect all citizens and obey the laws of this country, not do opposite of the laws, and then because other people wanted to go backwards, so they think they don't have to obey the laws, they can do opposite of the laws. And they're just crazy. But the thing that just drives me crazy is here I'm surrounded by this big wall of money. You know, money is made from paper, and paper comes from wood, and change comes from metal. So they think, well, I'm water and I'm in between because of Chinese astrology or some crap. I don't know. My Chinese astrology, water ox, what I read about it is supposed to represent wealth. Okay, I'm poor. I'm not wealthy, but everybody else around me is. There's a bank on every corner, pretty much in this town, and per capita, there's too many more banks than which you would need. Logically, there are lots and lots of banks. Banks, and when you have the Federal Reserve, and then there's 12, there's the 12, and then there's the letters, and then there's these people with cult behavior and Ouija boards. Another game of cult-like evil in the fiery pits of hell. You know, just craziness. And Candyland had kind of a rainbow board. You know, we sang Bluebird through my window to buy a piece of candy in Zeman Elementary School. And you know who my music teacher was? Mrs. Heckman. In Hickman, they have a new bridge going up. Hickman. They think I'm, Then they have Friedman Law Offices here, which is spelled like fried. It's just a person's name. It's just a person's name. I've been looking up lawyers and different people, lawyers' names locally, and certain types of things that have gone into the planning of things in my life, and there's so much evidence there. Names of lawyers in this town, you know, with my pigtoes, or my toes, and I used to have pigtails in my hair. I think they kind of joke around that was maybe my antennas from when I was little, you know. This is very important. The blinking lights from radio towers, you send and receive signals through radio towers, and they have red blinking lights. Okay. Characters in cartoons, characters on game boards with think things with red noses. Anything you associate with a red nose, like Rudolph and then Sam from Operation, which they're crazy. We use a tweezers to pick out the RFID, but they're not too interested in that, I guess. And Uncle Sam the Butcher from the Brady Bunch, and just because my grandfather Wilbur owned Red's Meat Market in Escondido, California, doesn't mean you butcher me because his name was Wilbur and they put crap by my toes. So, that's got to make somebody mad, I don't know. Their Pitt's process, and that's what's going on. Pitting people against one another with the chaos, and then initializing fear in other people to go along with what they're doing, kind of mafia gangster style, and sometimes doing it smoothly to try to offer money. I mean, the saying, kill two birds with one stone. That's a very famous, phrase. They're trying to kill me by faking a proposal with me because of stupid phrases like that, or last one in is a rotten egg, or why did the chicken cross the road? Stupid, stupid, stupid stuff. Crosswalks. Look at a crosswalks doesn't mean you're God, Things associated with X's and O's. You saw the courthouse, how there's X's in the windows. And the windows are made of glass, go figure. This crazy, crazy stuff. And they're whole exploiting me. Valentine, Nebraska is Cherry County. And George Washington chopped down the cherry tree. He was the first president of the United States. I talked about Columbus being in 10 County, and then Broken Bow, and crazy, crazy people. Carhenge is in western Nebraska since 1985. There's another 85 reference to you. 8 to 5 business hours. Corruption. Corruption's one thing. Making money, white-collar crimes is one thing, but trying to initialize murder on top of that in a public setting, that's not such a good idea, I wouldn't think. People know there's always going to be corruption, but it's corruption with public torture against the laws of this country, and public torture and abuses to this extreme, because they sit back and play this game continually because they're sitting back watching the money come in. Hasn't people figured that out? This has been going on for years. And the year, look at the year. It's 2012. We're in a year leap year, and you've got 366 days in the year. You got ConocoPhillips 66. You've got the 312s. 12 times 3 is 360, and you got a full circle, and so forth. As I said, there's no mirrors. You know, where they get the mirrors from is you get well, I said the Versailles thing, but you know, like in I think it was in Revenge of the Nerds, or like in some cartoons where you have like carnivals or you know, like the mirror places, like the room of mirrors, and beeswax is business. Anyways, I just thought of that just now. Wax museums and that sort of thing. I noticed there's some Russian museum here over after Rose Street somewhere. Peach is right next to Rose Street, and I talked about Rosemary's Baby, and then the Rose person on the treasure, one of the treasurers. You know, you got treasure maps, treasurers, treasure maps, treasurers, Federal Reserve, and if you scramble the Federal Reserve, you get reverse. There's a lot of money with these people that don't care about other people. They don't care about me or my life, and which is stupid, because they didn't even have to bother me. Rob could have got divorced, or he should have been with them to begin with. That's how stupid these people are. They're just retardedly, excuse my language, that's not politically correct, but neither is being tortured. Tortured? I guess I'm supposed to be tarred and feathered, or chastised. And they talk about the chaste name. You know, they want to play they want me to walk the plank, or you know, there's a bridge on a ship. It's where the captain sat, or whatever, who steers the boat. And decks. There's decks. There's lots of decks on boats. There's decks where the fire started on Old Cheney Road, when the frickin' propane grill incident with the Keller guy's deck. When the lawsuit was with Lee's Propane and Lee's businesses around town. Lee's Chicken, Lee's Booksellers, Lee's, Lee's Refrigeration, Lee's, home, I don't know, it's a decorating place. But on that place, it's by Dairy Queen. It's on 48th there. And there's a Mona Lisa on the side. It's like going sideways. And you know, one of the biggest streets. You know, I talked about the 84th and 48th going from north to south. And you know, you got the north versus the south and Civil War and all this other stuff. South part of town is wealthier than the north part of town, generally. I think, obviously, by some of the neighborhoods and so forth. That's just the part of town that grew that way. The property's more expensive because of the landscaping, or you know, it's higher in altitude. I guess that's why it's, you know, property is better if you live on a hill than versus not. Flood insurance. They don't build homes in floodplains anymore. And, you know, the 3 L's in real estate. Real estate. Well, I'm real, but I'm not real estate. Monopoly, you know, and so forth. The 3 L's are location, location, location. There's luxury tax on the monopoly board. There's the electric company and the water works. There's go to jail, go directly to jail in the corners. There's free parking and all this other stuff. There's the chance card, chance cards, and then I guess they're the ones with a question mark, and then the treasure chest. Well, basically, their toy chest, evidently. Thinking they can kill me with a pacemaker, and I've never killed anybody, which is totally against the laws. And they make all these excuses to hide behind lawyers versus to help me. It doesn't make no sense at all. And then here I sit in pain every day because instead of making it feel like people are slitting their wrists to the left or to the right, they're sitting there and drilling pain into my shoulders. Well, when you trip on LSD, after you get done, you have pain in your shoulders. The other shoulders would be Hitler's strap, or my bra matches D Street in Plymouth Church, and Randolph is right there. Whitehead Oil is right there, which is very old. Right there at that intersection. It's a very Whitehead Oil is an old brick building. It was 50s. And Lincoln High is right across the street, by the way. Lincoln is the capital city. Lincoln is the day Rob was born on his birthday. Lincoln, Nebraska. Lancaster has the seal of the elk, I guess. I don't know why. I guess because there's a lot of deers and stuff in the Midwest, and and so forth. Obviously, we live in the Bible Belt, but I'm not God or Jesus. We live in the heartland, but that doesn't mean you kill me with a pacemaker. My heart is on the left side, and my scar on my foot is on the left side. And all downtown is on the west side, which is basically to the left. I don't want to go left or right, whether Obama's on one side or George Bush is on the other. I don't want to go either or. I don't want to go either or. I'm terrified of them. They control things in an inappropriate way. Totally inappropriate. Not setting a good example. As I said, they didn't want to problem solve at any time because they didn't do anything about prevention, so they're sitting back making money, obviously. Because at one point in time, instead of making up different excuses about me, they could have helped me and then covered it up the right way, had a little bit, found a little bit of a conscience somewhere, because this is my life, and they think that I'm just a commodity or just an icon, icon, just a walking dollar sign to them, but they abuse me for that, and that just drives me insane. I'm tired of going through this. It's crazy, the things that have happened to me, especially since Barack Obama was in office. It's real stuff. They put some money into entertaining me, though, that's for sure. And I like the Jets. That's pretty cool. I was very impressed with the whole Jets thing, unless the pilots did that on their own. This is pretty cool. But yeah, they put some money into keeping me amused. They want to play this little act game, abusing me with acts of laws and like an axe is in a fire axe, or axe is in somebody with a chainsaw. Woodsman, and Woodman is in Omaha. The Woodman building is in Omaha. You know, crazy stuff. Woods Park is on 33rd. It's always been there. It's been there probably 70 years or so. I don't know. Woods Park's been there forever. It's older part of town. The closer you get to downtown, the older the town is. Just so people, if you look at Lincoln on a map, the closer you get towards downtown area, like 9th, 10th Street, the courthouse, that's the oldest part of town. I'm kind of in central Lincoln right now in High Street. It's kind of central. The further you go, south and east is definitely newer. South and east has grown, and south has grown. Charlie Starkweather House used to be just past Old Cheney, 40th and Old Cheney. There's another one there too. The story of Charles Starkweather. We went and partied at his house one time in high school. With the abandoned house out there before they tore it down. But it was just past 40th and Old Cheney, and that's all houses and shopping malls, and it's grown a lot. South Lincoln's definitely grown more than the north part of Lincoln, but they're growing out there too. But as you get, past, I would say Fletcher, around the Fletcher area in the north part of town, that's where the newer area is out there. Central north, very north. There's only a little bit of new out there. By comparison to the south side of town, but I'm just trying to, just so you know, when you look at the streets and how things were planned, like when you get Peach and Rose Street, those streets are old, very old streets. All those fruited named streets are extremely old. And then towards downtown, the Haymarket, where KBC is located, is very old. Haymarket area. That's all downtown is old, very old, but buildings have been rebuilt and torn down and so forth. A lot of things have been rebuilt. The old courthouse still stands down there. I don't know what it's used for. Other offices, other government stuff. The old police building is abandoned down there. I don't know what they're going to do with that. But there's a lot of new bridges. And I'm kind of scared of bridges because of the whole Kennedy story and, Rosemary's Baby. Well, I'm not pregnant, and I didn't know if they were going to do they were going to try some diversion with trying to cover up killing my baby Autumn because, I was born on 9/20/73, and she's born on 9/10/2009. So I was born on the 10th, I was born on the 20th day, and she was born on the 10th day of September. We were both born in September, and that's why they did the same to her than to me as to me. Third person born. Tag it. Tag the third person born, third generation, I guess, Star Trek or something. Which I had nothing to do with and I didn't give consent to. That's what I wonder is going on with other people. Third person born on their family. What are they doing? Is that how they're doing it? I don't know. I thought it had something to do with people's names of being food. Like, for instance, Chase Robert Spicer, Um, his other family name is Fisher. Okay, Spicer and Fisher family. And then Robert Wesley Chase is my current husband of how many years? I forgot. Long, since high school, pretty much. In a relationship for 3 to 4 years before we actually got married, but we eloped and got married by the justice of the peace. And somehow people wanted to make that a nightmare, wasting 20 years of my life with him, to play this try to kill her at the courthouse game, because she got married at the courthouse by the justice of the peace, because I was pregnant with Amber at the time, and it was a last minute, thing. And so scary stuff. Marrying, keep your enemies close, but keep your enemies even closer. Evidently the Chase family, because they're the ones that have profited. They're the ones, when I look at the pictures and things that have been given to me over the years, they have all the evidence. Richard used to put a little slash mark above the E on my cards, like, with legs, pantyhose, and then all the French words with the E slash. French, and I guess because on my mom's side of the family there's French, and I thought he had something against Wilbur, my grandfather, or something. I know the Chase family never liked my mom. I know that for sure, because of how they talked about her. They didn't get along with her, and I mean, I don't know, So, and I've got a box of evidence just sitting there, with cards from Richard Chase with his signature, where he's put a little slash mark above the E. That's where they're trying to, the little slash mark above the E for Eggers. That's where in legs, pantyhose. They think that they get, since it's at an angle like a corner, they think they can kill me like that. And my mom quoted, she won't admit to it now. But 5 years ago, before I went, I was just had no idea what was going on around me, and she made the comment, which totally surprised me at the time. She said, Richard Chase, did you know Richard Chase believes in murder? She told me that directly. And she won't admit to it now. She's too afraid, for obvious reasons, which, I don't have to go into. Killed two birds with one stone. I don't know if it was her and me, or me and Autumn. They're trying to, corner, my mom's, cause I don't know, they got people working against each other to, they're trying to give them the option, well, we're going to hurt you, or maybe we'll give you a little bit of money, type thing. If, you don't cooperate and let us do whatever we want to her, which you can't do that, because in regards to me and my life, everybody in my family is probably pretty freaked out, because what they've done, to the family, just kind of surrounded by like a mafia scenario in which do this or else type thing, and but they try to do it very smoothly and so forth, and all these people from high school, they're a big, huge part of the con artists and manipulators, in which work very hard. They're very good at what they do, and pits of hell, fruit pits, cherry pits, peach pits, 90210, I'm not even talking about the show. by Aaron Spelling, and The Love Boat by Aaron Spelling, but 90210, the zip code, Rodeo Drive, Rhode Island, Grand Island, Nebraska. Yeah, I forgot that one. 8 County, 8. There's the 8 again. 8 Sideways is Infinity. South Street runs from east to west. That's the biggest, weirdest thing. Southeast, or South Street. South Street. It's called South Street. It's 2100 block. On the, 2100 block. South Street runs from east to west, or west to east, east to west. That's got people scratching their heads, I'm sure, because that's huge, and that's an old street. It goes from, it's a very old street. So, and then A Street's not very far from South Street and Capitol Parkway and so forth. They kind of all pretty close to each other. Look at the map and maps of our A Street through, I don't even know about a Z Street. That's just the weirdest thing. I always wondered about that. I know I've seen W. I don't know if I've seen an XYZ Street, but I know there's A through at least W. I guess there is a U. Actually, W. I think W would be the last street I know of. Of course, there's a Long John Silver's there. Hooters replaced one of the Long John Silver's restaurants. And I think it's vacant now. I'm not really sure what's over there. Oh, it had some other weird name. Where the old Hy-Vee on 70th and 70th and O Street. I think that's an abandoned building now. I think it's gone. There's another odd one that I crack up when I see when I go by it. Just because, it's some other stupid reference to the crazy bullshit game of my life. I can't remember what it is, though. There's a lot of towns like that that's got me, the grain bin is right next to Wolf Tackle. Wolf Tackle. And then, as I think I've talked about this before, the grain bin, and Wolf Tackle, and then it's next to Earl May, and then Sonic Drive-Thru, and then the garage, Holland Briarhurst. That looks so funny. That stands out like a friggin' sore thumb. And I never sucked my teeth as far as the green thumb thing goes. And plants, I don't really know how that would associate with me. I'm not Earth because of my astrology. I'm not Earth because pigs dwell in mud or whatever. Whatever. And I don't really want to go, I don't want to die. I don't want to be buried 6 feet under O Street, or, how Mafia does it. Just put steamrollers, I don't know, they put you under, anyways, that's in the movies. Kind of weird stuff. Things that my biggest fears, they're kind of initiated out of my life, like my scariest movies I ever watched. The Serpent and the Rainbow was one of the scariest movies I'd seen. Rosemary's Baby is pretty scary. I used to be afraid of Poltergeist because of the clown under the bed. And the little girl that played her, Carol Ann. And some of the movies Um, they've incorporated, like, where, the Stanley Hotel, Nancy Stanley dance, and, Stanley Steamer, and steam engine locomotives, and the little engine that could, and how that is all associated. Henry Dorley Zoo has still a steam train, steam engine locomotives run on wood or coal, from what I know, or water. I'm not sure how that works. Totally. I think it's coal or wood. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know the technical part, but and then that's at Henry Dorley Zoo, and the Stanley Hotel. This is getting back to the movie The Shining. Jack Nicholson movie, scary ones. Batman and Robin, and all these, you've got the Jack, you got the Nick, and then you got the son, I guess, and I guess a lot of weird things, butcher knives, red rum. That's where the movie were, red rum, and these people that are going backwards, trying to commit my murder, because red rum is backwards for murder, and then red rum, it's scary. I mean, that's scary when he gets, I remember the movie, gets locked in a freezer or something, or somebody gets locked in the freezer, and then, the movie Psycho, the shower scene where, the Bates Hotel, and then, as I said, Cheney, Nebraska's in the shape of a corner, and, it is 68526. The end of my social security number is coincidentally 8526, and it's by City Limits, and that's where it's like 2 blocks from NHI, the Heart Institute, the entrance to that, because the city's grown out that far, but that's where City Limits basically ends, and I guess it's got to be annexed again, the City Limits, because there's a new neighborhood, 84th and just past Highway 2 that's going past city limits, so I don't know if they're gonna, I presume they'll have to do rezoning and stuff, but yeah, Cheney, Nebraska, established in 1878. The town is in a triangle shape, and they want to like corner me with this diversion theft and the Cheney fire, and crazy, crazy stuff. The story of my life is not pretty, but it's not my fault. I kind of like the idea of, I wish I had a stable, normal life. I wish I had a basic life like everybody else has. I wouldn't even care how poor. Just if I had a normal life, a normal life. People don't understand. Some people think, wow, you're interesting, No, my life is horrible. I'd trade it to anybody for just a normal life. There's probably not a single person I wouldn't want to trade my life with, because it's extremely scary. I mean, I wouldn't trade my children for nothing. I'm not one who would slave trade or sell my children to the black market, unlike obviously the Chase family does. They think they can use my children because they weren't really who they said they were, and misled certain things and manipulation and so forth. They didn't have rights to put, I know Dick Chase, Dick Chase, put the RFID in Autumn. I'm sure he did it because of the letter he wrote with a blanket with Holly Hobby looking dolls on it. And Autumn was born a girl, and then it was all yellow. It's like he thinks he's got to have somebody new to abuse for profit. I don't know. There's something wrong with him. I haven't quite figured it out. Something happened to him because of the information I've gotten and all the evidences where he's got the slash on the E, and he's never been a warm person. He's always been one of these people who knows everything, and he's always got this big grin on his face, and he's scary, just like the book Richard Scary. He's scary, because looking at pictures of Amber over there when she was a little girl, the whole Chase Spicer thing, they had a high chair, their wood high chair with Dr. Pepper underneath. They had white shoes pointing towards the countertops with the left one sticking out on one of the pictures. They had other pictures. They have taken some of the spice stuffs off the wall, but as I said, they had a spice a spice a spice light switch cover. And so I had thought, I think that, well, I could be wrong, but I had the Holly Hobby, or not the Holly Hobby one, I had the Little Red Riding Hood, and you know, their addresses and their weird ideas. They're just light switch covers. They don't really mean anything, but they made a big game out of them. I thought that, I know Chase Spicer has a scar on his arm, on his right arm, and he also walks with a limp. Okay, pretty strange, but in coincidence to my life, and him being like 10 years, not quite 10, 9, 10 years younger than me, and him having like a backwards name for Rob, or, you know, really weird stuff. Some people have got to think Lincoln, Nebraska is just really weird, and I can't disagree with you at this point because of my situation. It's fine for other people, I guess. It works for them, but they're kind of oblivious, I think, some of them, to understand where they're living, and the dangers of this town. Anyways, what was I going to say? What I had thought, by reading into that, those pictures from the Chase family, and the evidences in their house, was that maybe during a surgery he had had, I don't know if he was ever, I know he had, has a wound on his arm in which there was a big scar. I think it's his right arm. But what I don't know is if they put a pacemaker in him. And I'm really, really, really suspicious of that. And I don't know if they'd block him from finding out because the evidence to the Chase family, in regards to their light switch covers, because I had one. Who else would have known about it? I mean, how would people know that? I guess people knew what I was thinking when I was younger, but somebody else looked at theirs, or Richard Chase did it himself. But the Dr. Pepper under the high chair tells me, put two and two together, right? Dr. Pepper, there's an oval thing on there. And, well, his life is better than mine in some ways because he doesn't live the same. I don't know if he's really living the same nightmares I am, but, and he says I have more problems than him, and in some ways he's true, and then I think, no, you have more problems than me, and that's kind of, I don't know. We both have problems, but I think the reasons for our problems, of course, without a doubt in my mind, were purposely created by other people, for their little game. That, because those pictures were when Amber was young, and Amber's standing in those pictures, and she's only like 3 or 4 years old. So, Amber, Sideways, Nick Hexum did the Amber song, and I don't even know him. He never liked me. That's why he likes my husband, okay? Nick Hexum likes my husband, not me. I don't know him, okay? I don't know the guy. I'm afraid of the guy. So I have no idea, and they're all connected. So, crazy stuff. People don't have to corner me to death because instead of helping me because they're worried about me being freed, which I'm already technically free because it's supposed to be a free country and I walk around every day free. They don't have to corner me to death because they're worried I'm going to get a hold of lawyers and get money. I don't know. They can't help it. They're greedy, but as I said, anything's better than being cornered to death, okay? I just want to live a normal life. I want to know, I'd love to have a normal life. A normal, stable life, quiet life, or famous. I don't care. I'd take either or. As long, I don't want the fame that I have now because all I've had is pain and suffering. But if I could have fame, the other type of fame, in which there was something good about it, to actually have money enough to buy clothes and live in a decent home and take care of my kids, and just not have to worry about being abused and that sort of thing. But that's, otherwise, fame, for me, I'd rather not have it at all. I'd trade all the fame for a normal life because it's brought me nothing but horror, like a horror film, and horrors, hidden, anyways, I won't get into that. People that want to go backwards, we'll just say, because they couldn't figure out how to get together in the first place, because they had planned this 20 years ago, and they couldn't figure out how to get together in the first place, and they had some sort of weird ideas. Anyways, I guess that's how the money pyramid works. Alright. Well, whatever. I'm gonna probably try to go to bed now and upload these tomorrow, I guess, because I'm too tired now. It's almost 12 o'clock and the pain's gone down a little bit. Now I have to worry about them letting me sleep a full night, not waking up with some weird dream. Sometimes they're rock star related or scary. The last ones, had to call Rob today because I had a dream that he was going to kill her. So, I've had lots of those dreams that he's going to kill her. And it scares me. Because I don't know, I won't even get into it, but I know he would put his children before his own life, and I know he doesn't value them because he's chipped them all up. Just start this whole cycle over because that's how cold the Chase family are. They're men that are basically have spun themselves crazy with their sides. That's how I see them. I'm trying to get along civilly with him, but he scares me. Richard Chase scares me a lot more. Rob has abused me so much in recent years, as before he was very, very good to me. And when it became uncool, then that stopped. And that's the only thing I'll say about that. But, my life was a lie. He wasn't the person I thought I married. He misled me to thinking he was somebody different. And I thought that most of our marriage, I had thought we were in a monogamous relationship, which I don't even believe in anymore. Not in Lincoln, Nebraska, I don't believe in it. Which is sad. And I guess it's the sign of the times. Oh, there's another one. The sign of the times. I guess you can mix that with the human trafficking and the roads of my life. You know, the sign of the times. I'm their little mini revolution that they think I'm disposable. And nobody's life is disposable just because you don't value someone's life. And because you've gotten enough money or whatever, doesn't mean you dispose of someone's life. What's the difference of me getting the medical help I need and living a quiet life, and then you can pretend like I don't exist anymore? You know? There's no difference, right? You know? People can move on, you know, which I'd like to do. I'd like to get some help and move on with my life and have a normal life of whatever, just a normal, stable life, just like everybody else. Everybody deserves to have a normal, stable life, a normal, decent, fair life. I don't need to hang out with, you know, their social circle because I'm scared of most of it now. Anyways, and I would just be happy not having to worry about other people wanting to hurt me all the time. That would be one huge thing for me. That would be so huge right there. I tell you, not having to worry about people wanting to hurt me all the time or abuse me, that would be huge for me. Those little things that people take for granted, for me, is like a dream. You know? That's what people don't understand. You know, you don't understand, and because the little tiniest things that people take for granted, I've like begged for mercy to, you know, to get help with these things so I can just have even the simplest things in life, such as not having to worry about people trying to kill me or abusing my body every day, and to live just a basic normal life, you know. My life was very boring and very basic before this all happened, and I didn't mind it. You know, I grew up with a family that, for some of the time in my childhood, wasn't stable because my parents got separated several times and there was a divorce. But you know, that happens. But I just enjoyed. I thought Rob was somebody different, and I thought when we got married, I thought it was not a temporary situation, that he had backwards plans of some weird sort, and that because I wouldn't have had kids with him had I known his family was how he was. I would never have had children with him. Never. I would have never had children with him if I knew he was going to chip up my kids, and without my consent. And I'm the only one that could have given him consent because he couldn't do it on his own. And then here we go. We got manipulation of rainbow laws again. That's one of them. People trying to forge my name on marital documents. That's another instance. I said I wouldn't sign divorce papers, and I won't. I don't have to. I know my rights. I don't have to sign those papers, and they can't forge my name to say that I did. This is Kathy Chase.